right, so we're going to jump to another article real quick that we found really fascinating. This was on slashfilm.com, and the title of it is Justice League brings back the classic Superman, and Henry Cavill couldn't be happier about his future. This was posted November 26th by Ben Pearson. So basically, it kind of goes on to talk about Justice League, the film itself, the shift in tone, and that Henry Cavill recognizes this important shift in tone. In an interview with Los Angeles Times, he mentions, this is a quote from Henry Cavill, "The movie highlights the qualities of Superman that exist in the comic books. That's something I've always been very keen to highlight in the character," he told Los Angeles Times in a recent interview. "This rebirth provided the opportunity for me to play those characteristics." And then he continued on with his quote, "I've always enjoyed the traditional, very classic view on Superman in the comic in the comic books."
That's what you said before, you fuck monkey.
"I think there's an enormous complexity to that character. I know when I was working with Joss, he and I saw eye to eye on some aspects of Superman.
Whee!
The paragon of hope, that ideal, that wonderful feeling of, oh good, Superman's here. I've also developed a very personal and protective relationship over this character, and it was just lovely to have the opportunity to smile and feel good. Yippee." The article by Slash Film goes on and says Cavill, who is still contracted for yet another movie and could possibly return for even more beyond that, sees Justice League's radical reinvention as a first step on a road to redemption for this character. Cavill's quote says, "There's a wonderful opportunity to tell the Superman story. Now there is a fantastic chance to show Superman in his full colors and tell a very complex, character-driven movie that is based on a story that have that wonderful sensation of hope and happiness. A feel-good movie with lessons laced in there as well." Not if Joss Whedon is directing.
Which is not a rumor or anything. It's
No,
just
no,
the way
no,
he said
that's-
Joss and I see eye to eye on that, I thought was quite telling.
Yeah.
I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, so we just kind of wanted to bring that up. Almost kind of brings the whole Justice League thing full circle a little bit. And kind of hints at possibly the future of Superman. As Matt alluded to, as I was reading the quote, that Henry Cavill was happy with Zack Snyder and his vision, and then all of a sudden when he's almost hitting the panic button as well. And I love Henry Cavill. I think he's a fantastic Superman. I agree that he has a love for the character. I've read articles and watched interviews of all the different comic books that he's read. So it's amazing to me that he's also defaulting to the same thing that we have talked about in the past, that people, this is actually was a quote from Snyder, that people seem to associate Superman more with the classic Christopher Reeve version and not necessarily the comic book version. And Cavill says it almost right there that, oh no, the classic version is in the comic books.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, to an extent,
and
but
everybody keeps saying that. Yeah. That he's more comic book accurate now.
Yeah, no, he's more Christopher Reeve accurate.
Exactly.
So it blows me away. Like, yeah, there are some campy stories in there of Superman, but there are also some really intriguing storylines that they can touch on, and we started to see this build of a character who had to go through some stuff, and
that's how you put it, stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Had to go through some stuff. And
Mark's way of explaining things.
Yeah. Exactly.
Had some trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's not get carried away with this verbiage. It's just
too many
stuff,
syllables.
all right? Yeah.
You got the stuff.
He had to go through it. He had to step in it a little bit. Get it on his shoe. But
Fight the uphill battle both ways.
It's amazing that I feel like almost just to save face and to kind of say like, yeah, I'm on board with whatever WB wants to, and to continue to collect
whatever to
paycheck.
get a Man of Steel too.
Yeah,
Come on, Vaughn. Come on, Matthew Vaughn. Let's make a boring version of Superman together.
Fuck.
Thank you.
Oh man. Seriously, like, fuck, I don't know. I don't get it. I guess this is what some people want to say, but then again, like you mentioned, or what some people want to see, but then again, like you mentioned, they bitch about that too. Like, oh, this is kind of campy and a little corny, and
So that's kind of this is basically our final thoughts now on Justice League. What's left of Justice League, what we've heard, all the bullshit that's gone on, some of the things we forgot in our spoiler review last time. Basically, I just real quick I want to bring up about the box office is that I'm really shocked about the box office to some extent, because I remember when the tickets were initially released, Fandango went down from ticket sales. It crashed from ticket sales, and I'm just like,
they bought, or they now own Rotten Tomatoes. I know it's owned by WB, but maybe there's a conspiracy to tank their own website to stop from them getting their own money. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
And the other, I thought that was just crazy. Forbes had this article that was truly fascinating. This guy that used to be tied into movie studios that did the breakdowns for this, he went through a whole different multiplier, basically coming down, and maybe we'll put a link, or I'll put some of the stuff up about this Forbes article, basically coming to the conclusion that on this is before Coco dominated this weekend, which is a weird way to say that. It sounds like a stripper just won. He basically saying that Justice League could possibly lose $50 to $100 million. And that's accounting for everything, every possible factor. He was even talking about DVD sales,
right?
Because yes, they may hit this certain point of like 700 million, which should technically break even, but that's 700 million total box office. The theaters still get their cut. They still get their cut, so that's going to take away from that.
Yeah, I love how this guy formatted his article. This is, like Matt said, it's on Forbes.com. Hopefully we'll be able to link it.
We'll throw some pictures up on YouTube. If not, you can DM us or whatever. We could send you these links. Any questions you have about that Rotten Tomatoes article, if you can't find it for some reason, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Email us at comicmoviemarks@gmail.com. Hit us up. We will happy to send you any of these links because it's this podcast, so we can't fucking link.
Right?
Stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little tough. If we could, we haven't quite figured that part out yet. But I love how he formatted this, because he also explained that when they do get some revenues from DVD sales, which come way later, they get some revenue from video on demand. If it's being shown on TV, that comes way later.
He was breaking this way down.
Yeah,
and he was giving
done really well.
He was giving conservative numbers. He wasn't even giving the max amount of 300 million like a lot of people say. He was giving them like 260 or to 280 million. And he basically had this chart. He even had a nice little chart saying that the return of investment on Justice League was going to be negative 13%. And this, I mean, it's crazy the numbers he broke down. And again, that's another reason why I feel like we will not get a Snyder Cut. They're already losing money. There's no way they're going to spend any.
That might be the only way to recoup some of it. Similar to what they did with Batman v Superman.
Which I have that pulled up. Batman v Superman, their Blu-ray sales, they reached the top. They're ranked number 43.
That you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Cut was ranked number 43 on the top Blu-ray sales. It accumulated between DVD sales and Blu-ray sales They accumulated about 75 million, almost 76 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales on Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Cut. Is the money that they can make on that, 150 times what would a Blu-ray Ultimate Cut? $20, $30? 150,000 people, plus there's obviously going to be people that don't sign that petition. Could that make up the cost? Could they recoup those costs?
Something, maybe. Something, especially for people.
It might save them more money just to make the most basic Blu-ray edition ever. Barely any. They throw a couple deleted scenes on there. They showed the movie as it was. There's obviously gonna be no director's commentary.
Yeah,
Ben Affleck's like, "Fuck you, WB. I'm out of here." And I'm almost starting to believe those now. Not that he doesn't want to play Batman. I think he doesn't want to deal with WB anymore.
I can see that.
I think maybe that's where all these fucking quotes and all this shit about him not wanting to be Batman anymore. I think it's that he doesn't want to be Batman with WB anymore. I think that might be where it's going.
Yeah, where he's just tired, and it's funny. It's funny, but not funny, because who knows where it's going to go from here. But
just like Justice League.
Yes, funny, but not funny. Yeah, there's something definitely bleeding. But
that every once in a month.
you get you have you have one extreme according to some people with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman. Now you're trying to toe this line, give people what they want, and it's still not successful. So what do you do? You know, like it's almost.
What do you do? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that song.
Nice. I like it.
There's a remix
I can dig it.
of the song about pissing. You got that PLE licking the juice in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn.
So, I don't know. One quick thing I wanted to throw out there because I thought it was summarized so well. We didn't have a chance to read his quick synopsis on our last episode, but at Both Eyes Missing, we bring...
Mega fan number 1.
Yeah.
Only fan number 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Always giving us some great insight, links and stuff like that on our Twitter page. It's pretty awesome. So, at Both Eyes Missing on Twitter. His review was, really hope this is a he, by the way. I think I always say his. Correct me if you're a female, but I'm assuming you're a male. So anyways, at Both Eyes Missing, yeah, says, I had fun with Ragnarok, but like most Marvel movies, I don't watch them more than once, and I personally have no nostalgia for Marvel. I did not grow up with their properties, so if Disney wants to turn all their franchises into comedies for kids, I don't care. In fact, if they sink those ships, it will be fun to watch. Because all I can think about is Justice League. I both love this movie, while at the same time, I am frustrated with this movie. But what I did like about Justice League reminded me of how much I want to see this DC film universe continue. Can't wait to listen to you guys talk about it. I thought he summarized it really well. I actually say I couldn't agree with you more. We'll be watching it one more time. This is when we did our second viewing with Nick. And then I asked if we could read his message to us on our episode, because he put it so well that there is something that Marvel is already doing, and even though Justice League, especially for me, I scored it 3.7. There's something about it that is still so entertaining and still fun to watch, while at the same time, unfortunately, there is a laundry list of frustrations and really some concerns for how the universe is going to propel. And couple that with the poor box office numbers and what if you want to have weight to it, the poor Rotten Tomatoes rating. There's a lot that kind of leaves DC fans wondering, where are we going to go from here? Are they going to press the panic button even more? Are we going to get ultra comedy Marvel light? Can they reset and give Zack Snyder another chance to go, oh yeah, sorry for fucking with your movie yet again? Where do we go from here? And that's the frustrating part. One of the reasons why I want...
Where do we go? You can use that melody for everything.
Yeah.
So again, just final thoughts. There's some things that we missed in our review. Just random shit that was left out from our previous spoiler review. I thought Ice Breath was fucking corny as shit. And it looked like shit because you can tell it was part of the reshoots.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, it was a Joss Whedon reshoot. And I like how with Man of Steel, we had an escalation of him and his powers. We had the X-ray vision, which his mom was talking about calming him down and stuff.
Oh, details.
Yeah, details of the experience. His flying for the first time.
Yep.
His, the laser eye vision always had those coarse veins and shit coming out of his eyes.
An evolution of a character.
Yeah. That's actually one thing, and fuck, I don't know. I might enter it back in the old thing when we were talking about, but the way Lois actually brings Clark back after he's being manipulated, according to that VFX artist, by the way, that brings him back, is she repeats some of the shit that Ma Kent said to him while he was in the closet.
Will you open the door?
What's wrong with him anyway? He's such a freak. Crybaby.
His parents won't even let him play with other kids. I know, what a weirdo.
Sweetie, how can I help you if you won't let me in?
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small. Just, focus on my voice. Pretend it's an island out in the ocean. Can you see it?
I see it.
Then swim towards it, honey.
Picture the island. The world's too big, Ma. And when she does that whole thing about,
oh, that's right.
That's how Lois brings Clark back from the manipulation.
I remember reading that.
That's what he said. That's what we were talking about. The fucking detail. That guy should have been a writer if it's not true. Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. I may take this section out and insert it there. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But that was one thing I did want to point out. So the ice breath, he just halves it. He just wakes up.
Yeah,
I got ice breath.
I thought it was kind of cool because I was like, well, that hasn't been used before, and I remember like looking at you like, oh, that's kind of awkward, you know, like that's new. I think that's what I said in the theater, like that's different or that's new, something like that. I'm like, okay. All right, but yeah, like Matt said, it would have been a lot cooler had maybe he, you know, his body been going through some changes because he was half dead and Steppenwolf resurrected him, and now he doesn't have heat vision, he has freeze breath, and then, you know, that becomes another evolution of the character, but instead he's just gonna fucking use it for the first time ever because now it's Henry Reeve.
Christopher Cavill.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That one's better.
CC. One of the things the second time around, and I even noticed this, one of the things I had a problem with Ben Affleck just not knowing shit about these fucking people that he's looking for, even though in post-credit scenes he got a file on these people, he had the emails and all that shit, but yeah, he just doesn't know jack goddamn shit about about any of these people. But basically he's trying to figure out what Flash's powers are, and he throws the batarang at him, and Shane looks at me, he's like, if he's not knowing what his powers are, he's gonna just throw a boomerang at him.
He's just risking batarang. It. Yeah.
A batarang. And I was like, and I heard somebody make the joke, like, how many berries did he kill before he fucking, because he's just finding random Barry Allens.
Yeah. That whole line when he said, oh, that's what you can do. That's totally, because he saw the same email that fucking Wonder Woman is reading. You see that he can flash around. So why does he go, oh, I'm not even 100% sure what you could do, but let me fucking huck this batarang at you.
That was great. That made me laugh when Shane's like, yeah, we'll just throw a batarang at a guy we don't know what he can do.
Yeah. Oh, it's not super speed. My bad.
One of the things I thought was fucking annoying, and I just wanted to point out that a lot of people were talking about how that beginning scene with Batman was reshot and it was a Joss Whedon thing, and that some people like BatmanNews.com said it was a great thing. And I remember this is the thing about that beginning of Justice League, that it is set up so shitty. It just, that beginning takes you out so much between the Henry Cavill shitty face and this scene in particular. I remember this scene felt clunky. It felt shitty. And then when the Parademon blows up, he just forms three boxes like a what is that? A pictograph or not a pictograph?
Pictogram? No.
No.
Hieroglyphic?
Hieroglyphic, thank you. Yeah, and it's just like, what? And then the dialogue from the fucking guy, the criminal, it's just because he's dead, huh? They're aliens. They're coming for us. Like, it was just spoon-fed, making insulting my intelligence dialogue, and it was like, of course
that was Joss Whedon.
Of course, that was shoehorned in the beginning because it was done by Joss Whedon, and it was just. I remember I hated that scene, and these people were like, "Oh, it's a great scene," and apparently it was supposed to be a comedic approach to it, and you could tell because it's clunky as shit. The guy,
and he fucking lets the criminal go. Yeah, like so
that's the joke.
You captured him to scare him because they can sense fear, but then you let him go.
Oh, just completely unanswered bullshit, and it was garbage. It was a garbage scene.
Speaking of hieroglyphics, the painting bullshit on the bar or whatever the Aquaman is standing in. Why is there just an explanation of why?
Why?
I don't know if that was Snyder. If that was stupid. If it was Whedon, not surprised. Because we have to literally paint a picture for you.
Hey, you're a great crowd. Thank you, and thank you. Hey, waka waka. Waka waka waka.
I heard some of the speculation why Justice League failed was, why didn't you have one of your biggest characters, Superman, up in the forefront, advertised all the time, and why wasn't he in the trailers? Because, according to the fucking movie, he was only at the end, and it would have spoiled the fucking end, you dumbasses.
Right. That you bitched about.
They showed the one part where he's normal.
Right.
But any other parts would have spoiled the movie, you fuck faces. Well, did you see how little he was in the movie?
Yeah, seriously.
He's only in the costume for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's all CGI anyways.
It looks like shit. That's why he wasn't in there.
Yeah.
And then one of the big things that I noticed the second time around, I completely forgot, and Shane was talking about the score, and I didn't, and I'll plug this in right here for the comparison. But Danny Elfman, you cock-licking son of a bitch. You fuckhead. I swear. It's something that is so well done as the Wonder Woman score that everybody was, like, down for the most part.
Yeah.
And I noticed it the second time around. He changed it up a little bit. He made it orchestral instead of an electric guitar.
Yeah, and drums and
it was stupid. I can't believe you are not talented. I'm sorry. I know this guy's talented, more talented than I am. I know that, but you have no talent.
For the sake of argument, and for this,
you reused shit. You fucking manipulated other people's scores.
you reuse your own shit.
Yeah, you fucking did nothing for this movie, and you got a huge paycheck for doing Jack Dilly. I could have done this. I could have done it. I could have.
Well, yeah.
I could have manipulated that shit.
Splice up some regurgitated themes, and yeah, you're pretty good.
Yeah. I heard some people talking about the Flash theme is pretty close to the old Matrix theme. If you really listen to it, it's like it just, and that's WB too. So he just fucking put out a book.
Wait. Flash had a theme in this movie?
Apparently.
It was so close to the rest of the fucking score that I did not notice.
And one thing that I heard some people playing that, I've seen it on social media, is people focusing too much on the mustache. That if you weren't told about Mustache Gate and all that CGI, you wouldn't have noticed. And I just got to disagree with that. There is probably some people out there that may not have noticed. The problem is the way Justice League started the movie.
Yes.
Was with that terrible CGI.
Yeah.
That is what propelled it. And all I could think of was the scene from fucking Full Metal Jacket.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that, Private Pile?
And that's all I could think of. That's literally all I could think of was that, and then after you see him from there, you're like, does it look like that again?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to tell. There's for any How I Met Your Mother fans, one of my favorite episodes, because I think about it all the time, is when all the entire cast has, or all the characters in the show have really annoying habits that only one person out of the group notices. But as soon as they bring up that habit, there's like this glass shattering in the background, you know, that's you know, inserted into the episode, and they're like, holy shit, you do that. And that's what this made me think of, is you are shattering the glass, you're breaking it wide open immediately. It's the very first shot in the fucking movie, and you're breaking it wide open to tell people, yeah, he was CGI'd. Had it been a little bit later, there's some people that didn't quite notice it as much. So maybe if that was a little bit later, or they don't have that scene at all because it didn't fucking make any sense and wasn't roped into anything, and he just had some attempt at a deep, thoughtful line with the S. It's like a river winds, hope it's like your car keys, blah, blah, blah. If that wasn't in there, then maybe you could kind of like, I don't know, is it CGI'd? You know, maybe not notice it. But the fact that the very first scene you see Superman in the entire movie is a CGI'd mouth, that just broke it wide open, and then the rest of the movie you can absolutely notice it.
Yeah.
So I noticed, however, 9 times throughout the fucking movie of, oh yeah, that there's Joss Whedon and there's Zack Snyder.
Once you pop, you can't stop. So,
exactly.
So, that made no sense. Anyway, and then ultimately I just wanted to end it off on a gripe that I forgot about again. People were bitching in Batman vs. Superman that Superman's death was pointless. And I always argued it wasn't. And Justice League proved me wrong. It was fucking pointless. It ultimately became pointless because we didn't get overarching the story that we needed to propel him back into the Justice League, to propel him back to Earth, whatever it was. We didn't get that. He just got brought back with ice breath and smiles and a fucked up lip. Yeah. And that was it.
Shoehorned in. I didn't feel like there was any sort of struggle from the Justice League before, and this is actually something I meant to bring up in the last episode as well, that bringing him back, I felt like there should have been a huge ass whooping where the Justice League like barely picks up the scraps and they're like, we fucking need Superman. We cannot defeat Steppenwolf. There really wasn't. There was a little bit, I don't even remember what scene. It was the first one where they're saving all the people, I think, before they realize like,
everyone's doing okay.
Yeah.
They just would have done better teamwork.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that really made you feel like, oh, they can't do it without him. And, you know, the team needs Clark and the world needs Superman or whatever the fuck the Bruce Wayne line was. That didn't have any weight to it because you didn't feel that in the movie. And I completely agree with you. I actually had that thought after we recorded with Nick, that Nick was absolutely right, that there's no weight to Superman dying. And it now he's right, because in the return, there's nothing. There's no weight to it. There wasn't this spectacular thing. Yeah, we knew it was going to happen, but you still could have laid it out there so much better and actually made it worth something. And instead, it was...
Kept that yes to the rings thing, which was so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Keep that scene in, because that really meant something. You felt like this super connection between these people that were separated.
Right.
But in this one, itchy.
Yeah.
Fucking itchy.
Yeah.
And scratchy. And they fight, and they bite.
Yeah.
They fight, bite. The itchy and scratchy show. And do I smell?
Nice.
Did I smell before?
Yeah. Did I smell?
I guess
before?
for a corpse, he smelled better than she thought.
Yeah, I guess.
I
fucking guess.
I don't know. His hair was styled really nice.
Yeah.
That gel. Fuck, I wanted that gel.
Holy shit. No kidding. Doesn't flake or anything.
Can't, damn.
Oh, man.
I don't have much hair left to gel anyway. So.
Same. Well, you mean glue? We both used hair glue back in the day. Got to be. Don't use that shit, kids. Still on the shelves at Walmart. Do not use it. That's what I'm blaming my baldness on.
Yes, of course. That's what it is.
Yes, not bleach and, you know.
Other chemicals.
Yes. Or even, you know, genetics. That whole thing.
So make sure... so that's going to conclude this podcast. This is just random mix of bunch of shit.
Sorry.
By the way, in that
VFX
version, he says Cyborg died. So we're going to conclude with that. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. We're at 99.
Woo!
Almost 100.
Please, come on.
I'm going to make up a Gmail right after we conclude this podcast. Just
so
make
we will be at
100.
100.
No, I won't, but yeah, whatever.
Please, anyone?
Someone?
We're
knock,
almost
knock.
there. Almost there.
Anybody. All right. Make sure you check us out on iTunes at Comic Movie Marks, or in the Google Play Store under Podcast Republic. It plays all Comic Movie Mark podcasts.
And be sure to leave us that good old review. You can do it on, or please do it on iTunes. That's the only one that we're counting. Please leave us an iTunes review. You can do it as an Android user by downloading the iTunes app onto your PC or any computer, laptop, whatever, and creating an account. It's free. You can also do it, obviously, as an iTunes user. We are doing a beautiful, wonderful, lovely giveaway, Call of Duty World War II. It's an amazing game. It gets like...
Greatest game I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it gets like 10 out of 5 stars. Like, boom. Everyone's like, this has blown my mind. And we're giving it away for free.
Yeah.
All you have to do is leave us a review on iTunes. Thank you to the people who left it recently, by the way.
Yeah, we read those in the intro.
Good one. Good one. Wink, wink. We did.
Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We got some people saying nice things to us on Twitter.
Yep.
Some people saying nice things on Instagram. Overall, okay things about the show.
Yes. At Comic Movie Marks, you can find us on there.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What do you mean?